Hello, amazing party people. Wow, it's been a really long time. I wanted to give you guys an update on everything that's been happening since I've arrived back in the United States. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I was traveling from Canada across the continent to the United States after having somewhat of a spiritual awakening. And I'm going to tell you, there were quite a few bumps in the road. And I just wanted to kind of get real today and talk a little bit more about some of the things that you could expect when transitioning into a new reality. When you finally decide to take that leap of faith and make a huge life change. Because I'm telling you, I had a lot of tests that came up during this journey in the short amount of time, just leaving Canada and coming into the United States. And what I've realized, there were moments where I fell back into that fearful thing. I've kind of gone back and forth between being fearful and having faith. And now I've just come to terms with what it actually was that was occurring. Because you can get into that victim mode. Why is this happening to me? Is the universe out to teach me a lesson? Did I make the wrong choice? All of these things kind of come up. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that today. So keeping it real. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I've missed you guys so much. I'm sorry it took me so long to make my next video, but here we are. Made it safe and sound. I'm here in Mustang, Oklahoma. This is where I was raised, and I'm having a great time catching up with my family. But the trip getting here was quite bumpy, and I've had a couple of other hiccups and things that have occurred that were not at all expected. And this has not been a smooth sailing, transition at all. So I know in some of my videos I've talked a little bit about some of the manifestations that I've had, some of the synchronicities. So now I want to talk about some of the shit that goes down when you're making such a huge life transition, spiritual transformation. So to start, I want to talk about the lessons. So the universe, I feel, gives us opportunities for growth and expansion. In order to do that, we may be tested. And some of these tests may seem really frightening and scary and uncomfortable and unpleasant, all of these things. And these are lessons that we are meant to learn in order to grow into this next phase of our life, to shed the old you that's no longer serving you. It is very uncomfortable, and sometimes it almost seems easier to slip back into, going to sleep and just going back to the old way of doing things because it was just easier, But the one thing that keeps me moving forward is the idea that life is going to be incredibly amazing once I get through this phase. That there's something so amazing on the other side of this. Because I know that the universe wants what's best for each and every one of us. But we all are here to learn and to integrate lessons. So to start, a lot of things came up on this trip. As you may know, if you've been following me for a while, I left my marriage, which was my stability, was my rock, which gave me the feeling of being taken care of financially. I had a beautiful home, all of these things. But the relationship was no longer working, and it was no longer serving either one of us, and we had just grown apart. And I was ready to move on into a new phase of my life. And so I've decided to move back to where I was raised and kind of see where I want to land. So I'm back in the United States. Now, on the way here, it was just me and my little dog, my little sidekick Loki, on this journey. We drove for 3 days. We stayed in one of the scariest hotels I've ever stayed in my entire life. And it was a real test of faith. And just laying in my bed that night, concerned that, maybe when we went up and woke up the next morning, all of my things may be gone from the car. I was worried about people breaking in. We were in a really shady part of town. And I just went into my room, immediately put on my headphones, just tuned in and meditated, and that put me at ease. And then I just went right to sleep. And I'm telling you, I hit the road the next morning. So that part was really unsettling. But I learned from that during that time when I was feeling so much fear, I tuned in to my inner being, and that was the only thing that could comfort me. I tried contacting friends, family, that sort of thing during that time, and I just felt so uncomfortable and so scared and unsure if we were going to make it through the night at this hotel. And I'm telling you, it was shady. And tuning in, I just knew after tuning in and doing my meditation that I was completely taken care of. And so faith, it was a real test of faith. Also during this trip, I had some car issues, and it was involving my engine. And I slipped right into fear. And as you know, I had taken this great leap of faith with very limited resources. So I thought, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? I have a certain amount of money to get where I need to go. And now I have to go in and get my car fixed. I'm having this, my check engine light was coming on. I went into fear, and I was scared. I was so scared of being stranded in the middle of nowhere. I was having a hard time calming that fear and getting out of that analytical mind, and I had a really hard time meditating, but I was able to meditate that evening after speaking with friends and family and asking for advice. I decided that next morning to go to the car dealership. There was one only 10 minutes down the road, and when I went there, they told me that my car had 2 engine recalls and that everything was going to be covered under warranty, and that if I wouldn't have gone in, then something really serious could have malfunctioned, and then I could have been stranded somewhere. And so when I thought about it, it was actually more of a blessing that this thing came up. Now, I was slipping into that, why is this happening to me, victim mentality. I thought I was on the right path, and then all this stuff's coming up, and I thought, well, what is this? What is this really trying to show me? And some of the things that were coming up was that I'm not able to take care of myself because I've always relied on other people for survival almost. I've felt like I relied on my husband. There was this kind of codependency thing happening there where, he was always there to catch me if I needed assistance, or something like that. So these things of survival kept coming up. How am I going to ever be able to take care of myself? My car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. How am I going to take care of myself and my dog? Slipping into fear. And so I realized after I left and everything worked out just fine, the universe was looking out for me. But I had moments where I was really tested, and my faith was tested, and I started to doubt the process. But what was really happening are these lessons were coming up, showing me that I can rely on the universe, that I can rely on myself, that I am capable of taking care of myself in collaboration with the universe, with the divine, with my higher self. Another really hard thing that happened is after being in the States for a few weeks, my dog suddenly became paralyzed from the waist down. And my dog has been my little partner in crime. He's been everything to me. And so seeing this just broke my heart. I had no idea what was going on with him, so I rushed him to emergency vet. And they had suggested that I rush him into surgery and do all of these things for him, and I just felt like my gut was telling me no, I don't want to do that. I ended up taking him home with medication and decided to do physio and rest and do more of a slow recovery process. And the more research I've done, I see that there's a really good chance of recovery. And then I'm also going to be doing some alternative treatments, taking him to have laser treatments. What I remembered is that I packed this book that I've been reading over the years, because I've dabbled with energy healing over the past few years, and I got my Reiki certification and that sort of thing. But I met a friend who was doing something called quantum touch. And she was actually doing it remotely, and she was doing it professionally, and she was actually doing really well for herself. And she had done a couple of treatments on my dog when I was back in Canada because he was having some digestive problems. And his digestive issues improved significantly. So I was like, what in the heck is this? Her and I kind of lost touch. And so I decided to do some research into it. And I thought, well, maybe I can learn how to do this and maybe help my friends and family and my loved ones and my pets and that sort of thing. So I purchased a book online called Quantum Touch and The Power to Heal. And I ended up reading the book, and it was very straightforward. Anyone can do this. It was so easy. It was such an easy read. I got through it probably within a couple days, and I started kind of using the information on my dog and myself, because you can do it to yourself, you can do it to your, you can use it on your dogs, that sort of thing. So I remember that I packed this book in my suitcase, in my luggage, when I came here. So I decided to open up the book and start reading it again. I thought, well, maybe I'll try this on my dogs, because in the book, the author, the person who developed this energy practice, was speaking about pets and how effective it is on pets. And I'm really into, quantum healing with, Dr. Joe Dispenza, as you all know. So I thought, why not try it on my dog? And he was specifically talking about how beneficial it is for bones, for treating people with, bone issues, arthritis, scoliosis. These are all things that, are things that I have experienced recently. He also even talked about dog paralysis in the book. So I thought, wow, this is a total synchronicity. I was supposed to have this book with me. And I read through the book and decided to start doing the energy healing on my dog every day. The first day, my dog could not even move his back legs. They were completely limp. He was in a lot of pain. It was very obvious that he was in a lot of pain until, he took his pain medication. And then I just let him sleep a lot. I bring him out into the yard to do his business. He is not able to control his bladder, but he is doing the number 2 on his own, which is great. And so anyway, I've been doing the treatments on him every day and incorporating a little physiotherapy, little bicycle with the legs and stuff like that. And every day I'm noticing him getting better and better and better. And when I'm doing these energy healings, I'm feeling so much sensation in my hands and my body. And according to the book, the practitioner also is healed by just performing the treatment. And as you all know, I have scoliosis, and I've been having some digestive issues, and I think that's mostly from all of the stress that has occurred during this whole transition. So anyway, I've been doing these healing treatments on him, and he has made significant improvements. It's been 7 days since we started. According to all the research I've done, it usually takes 4 to 6 weeks for a full recovery if he's going to recover naturally on his own. As of today, he's able to stand up on his legs, and he's been showing reflexes when I'm working with him, and I tickle his little paws. He's been kicking his little back feet. He's not able to push himself up yet, and he's still in some pain, but he is showing significant improvements, and I've been doing the treatments on him about an hour a day. And I'm telling you, the sensation in my hands, it's this buzzing, tingling, almost like numb sensation. Sometimes I feel a lot of heat in my hands. And I know from the bottom of my heart that this is working. So it's really, really exciting. Also, it's really improved my health just by doing the treatments. So what are the lessons? What are the lessons that are coming up to be integrated and learned? I've had a history of codependency, where I typically lean on family members, my spouse, those sorts of things for financial support, as I just haven't really been able to find something that really supports me in a way where I can cover all of my expenses and any emergency situations that come up. What I'm learning is that I can support myself. that everything has worked out. Everything is working out for me. That I have no need to worry. I have no need to slip into fear. It's also giving me the drive to really make it on my own. To finally take that leap to take care of myself and my loved ones. And so I've been going back into my meditations and really focusing on that. Focusing on, I can support myself fully financially. I have more than enough. I'm able to support myself and my loved ones. I'm able to get my dog the treatments that he needs in order to fully heal and to walk again. I am able to provide for myself. I am financially independent. So those were some of the lessons that came through. Also, lessons of faith. And to not forget that I'm in partnership, when I'm in alignment and in partnership with Spirit, things always go much more smoothly. But things can come up. These lessons will come up. And sometimes they seem scary and frightening and unpleasant. But if you can move through the fear, move through the lesson and integrate the lesson, there's so much beauty on the other side. Now, I'm still kind of in the middle here in no man's land. I haven't reached the other side yet, but I still have faith. I know that I have you. I have my community of beautiful people that have been so supportive and so loving and so welcoming, and I value each and every one of you. And that's really what I wanted to say tonight. I wanted to share kind of an update and let you guys know what's going on. And I would love to hear from you all again, as always. I'd love to hear your stories and your feedback and your experiences as well. And I'm going to link down in the bottom, I'm going to link the Quantum Touch book, because to be honest, I think everybody needs to own this book. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this work. And integrating the Quantum Touch and some of the work that Dr. Joe teaches has been tremendous. I've incorporated Quantum Touch with visualization, and I just keep visualizing Loki walking again. I'm even dreaming about him walking. So there's no doubt in my mind that he is going to walk again, that all of his limbs are going to be able to work in perfect harmony again. So that's what I had to say, guys, tonight. I love each and every one of you, and as always, I would love to hear how your journey is going. I hope you're all doing great, and until next time, bye!